Eddie G. TV. Eddie G TV. Eddie G TV. Eddie G TV. Eddie G TV. Boom. Here we are. Eddie G TV.
Woo!
We got my guest today, Leah Reed, and welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Good to see you.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Every time we've linked up, we've had a good interview, so I feel confident about this. And when I started this new form of like doing these interviews, sitting down and making them longer form, I looked at all the guests that I had on previously, and I was like, you were definitely one of the names, like first names I thought of. I'm like,
Nice.
I want to get him back on the show and have it on this style. So
Well, happy to be here, buddy.
yeah. So yeah, we were just talking like off mic about a bunch of different things that are dope. I want to get into like smaller venues and like what do you think about like smaller venues compared to bigger venues?
Yeah, we were talking earlier about. Yeah, I mean, personally, to see a hip hop show, I like it a pretty like, intimate size. Like,
Yeah.
I don't like big stadium venue for shows. I think that within the world of indie, even, it's nice to play in a room where 50 people feels like a crowd.
Yeah.
Instead of the venues that could hold 200 and there's 50 people there.
Yeah.
Or 30, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, personally, like when I'm watching an MC, if it's that close, I just feel like it's the best way to see hip hop live,
Also too, if you have 50 people in a spot that could fit 200, there's so much open space, so the sound isn't going to be like.
True, there's that too. Yeah, totally.
That too, and we were saying about like other genres, like that have like other instruments.
Hmm.
Them in a small room is sometimes a lot of times too much.
Yeah, if you're
It's
not
like-
used to it. If you're not
yeah.
used to it, for sure.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
holy, this is loud. Like
I've been to some punk rock basement shows.
yeah,
It can be pretty fun, but yeah, it's,
Oh, yeah,
it's
for
super
sure.
loud in this small space.
but right, so I say like that kind of stuff, like music is more meant for like a bigger room.
Word. I would
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah. So what do you got coming up? Like going on for new music and new shows?
What 2020? So I don't play much over the winter. I think I'm gonna be. I'll have hit Hamilton, Toronto, and Guelph in a 3 or 4 month period.
Yeah.
Trying to think, but May I'd start to do shows again. I'm gonna go out the first Friday in May. I'm in Halifax, and then we're playing some shows in the Maritimes. Just sorting that out. So we definitely play in Halifax the first weekend and Montreal the second weekend, but piecing it together. Hope to hit Fredericton and maybe Charlottetown. The guys that I'm rolling with, Tester Logic. The homie D lives in Halifax now, so I've known him for years out Toronto way. He's living out there now. So
So how do you go about like getting like different like spots in different cities? Like even like performing somewhere where like you haven't been before. Or
it's not easy, and in fact, it never was. It never was easy, but it's even harder now. Like. Live shows nowadays
You'd actually think it'd be easier with like social media and stuff like that, but
It's not. And you know what it is? It has nothing to do, for the listeners at home, it's simple economics. In 2008, 2010, rent was like in Hamilton was like $500,
Yeah.
and now it's like $1,500, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? That $1,000 was our live music scene, you know what I mean? Like that's straight up. Landlords are killing indie music, among other things, like small businesses, everything. Like when people aren't gonna park their money in an offshore bank account, like if they have $1,000 extra, they're gonna spend it in their community. You know what I mean? It's like the rent is killing everything, and especially, well, not especially, it's killing all kinds of things. One of those things is the music scene, and so getting shows out of town is actually like really hard. And I think that the only reason I can get shows is through the organizing protest community, like through, like groups that I've worked with or groups that I know, doing fundraisers, there's
Yeah,
no
see-
real cash in it.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
touring's not what it used to be. Like now, yeah, it's like I take shows and I do them for orgs. I you know, I'm playing for ideas and
Yeah.
for, you know, not for cash basically.
Last time I was trying to set this up, you're like, yeah, I'm down, but I'm in Europe. You're touring in Europe. How was
Yeah.
that?
It was great. Yeah, it was the first time I ever did that. I'd been to Europe, but I'd never played there.
Nice.
So we did 11 shows in 20 days is what it worked out to. And we were in Germany, the Netherlands, France, and the UK. And yeah, it ended up being kind of 3 weekends of like Thursdays to Sundays.
Yeah.
And then we were off for a while in Amsterdam and off for a while in Paris.
Nice.
And yeah, it was great. Had a fantastic time. The shows were way easier to get and were way better attended. We were paid better. Like everything about it was better. I would love to do it often, but it's quite a journey.
Do you think, from what I've heard from like different places, do you think Europe is the best place for live music?
I mean, I guess I haven't been around the music scene enough there, but what I can say is that it seems to appreciate and prioritize
That's
the
one of the
artist
things,
and the
yeah.
show more than people do
Yeah.
here. Artists are often the last people to get any cut of anything. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Oh,
in
for
in
sure.
Canada, like
Yeah.
you do shows now, venues want to charge you to rent their space so they can
Yeah.
sell beer. You're paying for the door
Like,
people or the sound people.
like,
It's like,
it was bad enough when like they were like, oh, you don't get any money. Not like it got to the point where it's like, no, you got to pay money now.
yeah, for
And
real.
it's like
yeah.
it's like
That's
yeah,
it.
like I didn't like when it was like doing it for free, and I love this stuff. To a
That's
certain,
fine.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine. But you want me to pay?
Yeah.
That's
That's it, right? It's
yeah.
like, yeah, that's what it's come to, man. That's what it's come to. So it's hard out there. It's like honestly, I got no advice for the people trying to get out on the road. What I would recommend is working on the 2 cities closest to you, and then
Yeah.
building from there. Go to the 2 cities closest to those. You know,
Yeah.
just try to make connections with other artists in those places.
Or even like
put them on here so
yeah.
that they put you on there. That sort of thing.
Or even going out to their shows before you're.
That's crucial. You gotta
Yeah.
go out. You gotta go out and support. You gotta
Yeah.
go out and see what's going on in a scene. You know.
You go up and tell like people that had good sets, hey, great set, man.
Exactly.
Well, I'm here, so I am. Oh, I'm an artist. Oh, you just came out just for the show? Yeah. Next thing you know, you're on a show. You're on one of the
Right.
bills, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Relationships, but touring straight up is really hard to organize. And like I say, I really when I do a tour, say I do like 10 shows over a couple weeks. Honestly, maybe 2 or 3 of them do I get through the hip hop community, and they're often my least favorite of the shows that I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'd far rather play for an org that's like raising some cash for something
Yeah.
than play for a room
So
slightly attended by a hip hop crowd. You know?
yeah. So how do you think venues like and artists should work together? Like for how do you think because I've always heard like a lot of times the venue gets the bar and the
That to me is fair.
and the artist gets the door.
I've always felt that was fair.
Yeah.
There was a time where bars would give bands a percentage of the bar sales even. But times are different now, man. Like we're saying, the economics. People
Yeah.
don't go out as much. People don't buy as much beer. So venues are in a tough position. But like I think fair is let the artist take the door and the bar take the bar.
Like I've seen some shows where like the artist clearly didn't get much at the door,
Right.
but the people that came in had a really great time, and they spent a lot of money at the bar.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I promoted this, and these people came out had a great time, but like there was a lot of money spent, but the bar got most of it because
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
When people are having a good time, they don't want to leave. They'll keep on. Hey, let's get some more shots. Like
Sure.
you know.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
One great thing before we move on like to other stuff what I like to do at the shows when I have my song on broke, I like to say stop the music and be like, hey, it's a real thing, I am broke, so if you want to buy me if you want to buy me a beer, you know, after my set, it worked like quite a few times. Like I get off stage and people are like, "Oh, I got you a beer," like like.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So yeah, I got some other topics right here. Do you think the Democrats are trying to get Biden because like they feel like he's gonna lose anyway?
I mean, I don't think that they. I don't think that they wanted to lose, but now that they're in the position where the choice is between Biden and Bernie, they would rather lose and have 4 more years of Trump than they would allow Bernie Sanders to be president.
Is that what it's down to? Biden and
Yeah,
Bernie?
yeah. And I'll be really surprised if they run Bernie. Like that's what the people want. That's what the world wants. Like,
yeah.
But I'll be real shocked if the DNC allows Bernie to run. Honestly,
He has the best chance though.
of beating Trump.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Poll after poll after poll shows it. Like, and the news can distort it as much as it wants. The ads can distort things in the States. Like, big money spent, hundreds of millions of dollars are spent on campaigns, right? But like, the only way you're going to defeat Trump in an election is to have the same type of grassroots energy that he had in the last election. Like, and Biden does not have that. You know what I mean? Like, he managed to turn out a bunch more older voters, but like, those people aren't going to show up as groups of 10 to 30,000 for rallies over the next year. They're not going to knock on doors and like talk to people, and like the Bernie supporters are like missionaries. You know what I mean? They're out there like trying to like convince people of things, and they know the facts and the plans and it's it's admirable. Like, but personally, I don't care. I'm like whatever.
I was how do you feel about Bernie? Do you think
honestly, as you know, I don't like politicians. I don't really trust voting. I don't really even agree with voting. But he's probably like the best candidate to ever come forward in my country and the States in my life. Like, he's the most interesting. He speaks to the most things that I think are important, and he's got a long history of being on point with that stuff. Like, whereas every other politician turns, twists, and changes their take on things based on the winds of the day. But like, Bernie's been voting and doing the same since time, and it's like, that's real rare, I think, in politics. I mean, yeah.
Okay, you said that you don't really agree with like the voting. How do you think things should be for like these politicians switching? Like, do you agree like that the 4-year thing is?
Well, this is a pretty big one. Eddie, this is a pretty big conversation. But like, I okay, looking at Canada, I don't think that we should have a parliament here. I think that we should be under the governance of whatever area of Indigenous territory you're under. I think that should be working with a settler like form of governance, and they should be following the treaties and arrangements that they worked out 150 years ago or whatever. That's what I think.
I agree with that.
Yeah, like, I don't trust that. I don't trust our system to give us good choices. Like, the last elections, federally and provincially, like, nobody was really moved or inspired by any of these candidates. You know what I mean? People vote based on their kind of like political allegiance, or they vote in anger, or they don't vote in anger. You know what I mean? It's like, nobody's really excited about what they're voting for ever.
I think why a lot of people didn't like why Trump got in there is because like a lot of people were just like, well, I don't want to vote for either one of them, Trump or Hillary.
Right? Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't vote. That's how we.
And a lot of people voted for Trump because he was like something completely different. They're like, what's that? Let's try that, right? Honestly, like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't have much faith in the way. I don't have much faith in the way that we organize and govern ourselves, and I really don't have much faith in it in relation to what we're facing over the next 10 to 100 years. You know what I mean? Like, we some drastic rethinks on a lot of things.
Okay, so what do you think about it just came out that Bill Clinton said that him cheating was him trying to deal with his anxiety.
What?
When he cheated on Hillary,
Okay.
like it came out that like Bill Clinton said that he was trying to deal with his anxiety,
All right.
and that's why he cheated.
I mean, I don't know what to say to that. That sounds pretty weird thing to say.
I
but-
just seen that and I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. I think that's, that's a weird one. I don't think I have an opinion about that. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. I'm just gonna have to digest
Yeah.
that one. I'm sorry.
I always thought the whole situation with him, was he impeached? He was impeached, right?
Yeah.
And like
I think
for
so.
the whole Monica Lewinsky thing, but sure, like in his whole marriage thing, that's not what he should have done. But as far as somebody that's running the country, like it's almost like a business. If somebody has like if some big business owner is out there cheating on his wife, but he's running his business properly, like his business is still going to be good, and like the people there aren't going to be like, okay, well, you can't run this business no more. But I felt like almost like with him, they're like, oh, well, you got your dick sucked by somebody else. You can't run the country no more.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I it was a bit of a witch hunt. I think it's a weird thing to manage to impeach somebody over or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't like Bill Clinton, so
Yeah.
fuck him.
I just thought I just saw him coming out and saying that. I was like,
Yeah, that's great. Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him. I'm glad he
Okay.
managed to manage his anxiety without meds.
Okay, so what do you think about like the blockades and the arrests going on and all that kind of like stuff? Like
Yeah.
I watched some of the videos on your page, people talking about it and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I support it fully,
Yeah.
100%, like unwavering support for those actions. What to say about it? It gets right to the root of what's wrong with Canada. Like there's great things about this place, but a lot of how it was put in place and a lot of how it's managed is really messed up, and it's environmentally racist. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we are an economy built on resource extraction. Many of the world's mining companies have their home offices in Toronto or Calgary. We are a country that was built on resource extraction. Like as soon as we were set up, we were beaver pelts and logging, and like as soon as there was mining, like townships are set up around mining spots as soon as they're found. Like look at Timmins or up there. It's like we have a different way of interacting with land and people than anywhere else in the world. And it's a messed up relationship. And for Canada to confederate when they did 150 whatever years ago it was, they rushed through the rail line, and in the process they tried starving people out of areas. They Indigenous people got fucked over by the birth of Canada.
Yeah.
And in the very end of it, the very end of the line out in BC especially, they were in a rush to get it done, I guess. I don't know. They didn't have any relationship with these people, and they just declared this is Canada. But there's this huge area of land, unceded, no treaties, no discussion about how it's going to work. So from an international law level, like Canada is illegitimate. You know what I mean? Like from a nation-to-nation agreement, which is how that stuff's worked out, we are totally messed up. And that's all over. Like we've broken every other treaty.
Yeah.
We're not following even the rules that we set up, but the rules that we set up aren't real. They're not legitimate. And so, that's on them. Like they need to work with the people that live in that area. And the Wet'suwet'en offered them another route, offered them 2 other routes, saying, okay, we can negotiate this if you run it this way and this way, because that's already got development down it, or that's, you know, the area they're protecting is a very pristine area with like water that feeds like the salmon rivers of like
Yeah.
the whole bottom part, like lower of them, you know, they're protectors of that space. And like, you know, how are you gonna let an
Yeah.
oil company trump that? You know what I mean? Like, that's mental to me.
You don't want to do that with like in Flint, Michigan, with like the water there. Like how long?
Right.
I think it's still like
Forever. Boil water
Yeah.
advisory there forever. And we have boil water advisories on like 1,000 reses in Canada. You know what I mean? It's, we
Yeah.
got so much water, and Indigenous folks that got to boil water. Like, it's crazy. But anyways, for Wet'suwet'en, like, this is unceded land. That they have the title on this land. You can't just show up with guns and run a pipeline through there. And so, you know, they've been fighting against this for a long time. And when, you know, none of these blockades occurred until the RCMP went into the land and pointed guns at people and rounded them up. You know, it's 10 years or longer in the making to get to that exact point. You know, so people talk about blockades, but like, you know, the blockades wouldn't be happening if Canada was behaving. The blockades wouldn't be happening if greed wasn't running Ottawa. The blockades wouldn't be happening if we had a proper relationship with these people and their land, you know? And
Exactly.
like, if it takes blockades to make people talk and think about this stuff, then blockades ye shall have, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like let's face it, like you can hate them all you want, but like it forced the issue. It's forcing negotiations. It's forcing people to understand what's going on and what's happening out there. And like, if you really look at the information and the facts, as long as it's not being fed to you from some weird sideways
Yeah.
pro-energy, like fake blog or news site, the facts are clear. Like, we don't have title on the land. We can't dictate what goes on or what development occurs there. They need to work it out with those people. Those people offered them paths that they could take. They did not want to because it would cost more money.
yeah.
Like, get lost. Blockades all day. What are blockades all summer? People won't get to their cottages. Sort this out. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
I like how people are standing up now, like for like because like I'm half Native. And
I didn't know that.
Like my grandma and like was taken away from her family and
No
put
kidding.
in white families and stuff like that.
down the way where you live now, like
Yeah.
16?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just like how they kind of like stripped our culture, like when they did this, they put all these kids in with white families. They're told you can't speak the language no more.
Right. Totally.
You can't have anything to do with it. So like I even try and like ask the history with the family. Like I want to know more, and like it's not really there because
Right.
like we were just kind of stripped of our culture and told, you know, this is how you're living now. Like so these young kids don't get to grow up and learn how things were. So now I like how people are making the blockades and protecting the land, and at least because we've already been stolen. Like the culture's already been stolen from us.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing we have left is the land.
Yeah. Well, the land was stolen.
Yeah.
You know?
Well,
all you can do is protect it.
yeah. All we can do is like we just
Protect what's left, right?
protect what's left. But yeah.
Yeah, man. No, I didn't realize that. But yeah, I've been trying to support Indigenous stuff through music and like organizing for a few years now, and I think it's the defining thing of our generation. Like, we have to sort this out. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that like when people start to realize that, like, you know, Indigenous governance, if that means fucking clean water and clean air and clean places to grow food and like habitat for people and all the creatures, you know,
Yeah.
who's not down for that? Like, let's go. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
it's like the, you know, it's an ideal, you know, to shoot
like
for.
when you're out in the forest and like you're breathing that air, then and you start coming back in the city, and it's like breathing differently. It's like crazy. But we had a little cut in there. Talk about the blockades. Let's talk about Tiny House Warriors. I was watching little clips on
Yeah?
on that.
The Tiny House Warriors, yeah. Tiny House Warriors are a group of folks in Secwepemc, which is not far from Wet'suwet'en, in unceded British Columbia. they're fighting the what is it called? The trans. Oh, that's terrible. I can't remember what the name of the.
It was something with the railroads because when I watched the video, I guess the CN people were saying that they were invading on their land, but it's really the CN people are invading on the indigenous land.
Oh, totally, and especially out there, it's very clear. Like there's been provincial and Supreme Court rulings about who has title and deed, and clearly the unceded lands of so-called British Columbia are like that's theirs. You can't mess with it. But yeah, Tiny House Warriors. It's a group in Secwepemc that are fighting. I can't remember what it is, the TransLink or something like that. I can't remember, but anyways, it's a pipeline going through their territory. So they've begun building housing near the camps where these things are being set up, and sort of reclaiming their own land and in the path of proposed development. So, they're met with a lot of hostility by the people, the workers there and that sort of thing. There's a lot of, it's tough, and it's
for sure.
it's mostly women-led. I mean, it's women-led, and Indigenous women, and super strong folks, I got to visit one of their encampments in near Blue Water in BC, and
Nice.
it was amazing, and they're like right in the path of this thing, and just strong as hell, good folks doing excellent work.
Awesome.
Yes,
Awesome.
Canahus, Manuel,
Awesome.
Manuel.
So yeah. What else was I- So what do you think about now in like high schools and stuff like that? A lot of people for they want to become plumbers and they want to become electricians. They do stuff like after school, after they get out of high school.
Right.
I guess in high schools now they're trying to have people so they can almost be ready to become electricians and plumbers by the time they get 20 years old.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
What do you I think that's great for because I remember when I was in high school, when I was going into high school, they're like, oh, I was in special classes.
Mm-hmm.
So but first year I did just pass with everything, but in math I did 97. So after that they're like, oh, let's keep on putting them in the higher math class. So grade 12 university I did get 86, but then after I was out of high school I was learning in the grade 12 workplace math. They were teaching about taxes, they were teaching about buying houses, and here I am learning all this complicated stuff that I'm never going to use again. And I'm like, man, I wish I would have just been in the class that taught the things I need to know when I leave high school.
Yeah.
So when I seen that, I was like, oh, these people are gonna be electricians and plumbers by the time they're 20. They're set.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I have a friend who very smart, could have gone to any university he wanted to, had great grades. Instead, had put in time during high school and right out of high school and worked to become a car mechanic. And was one of the youngest guys I know to own a home. It's all he's paid off. He's doing well in life. I don't see anything wrong with that. To be honest, I mean, I think the idea that we're in now, where you need a degree to do anything, is kind of dumb. You don't have to go to university for 4 years and study English to do all kinds of things. But for all kinds of pretty standard jobs, you have to have completed post-secondary in some way. And I think plumbing, electricians, that's great work. If you can get it, my friends that do that work, they have the most independent and successful lives.
Even I know something. At my job, we were allowed to leave early the one day, but we had to sign the sheet. So everybody was signing the sheet.
Right.
And when I was taught, when you sign, you do the cursive writing.
Mm-hmm.
When I looked at the sheet, I'm like, most people have printed their name, right?
Right.
And I'm like, I mean, I joke, I'm like, well, the only I learned cursive writing and I knew it really well. I used to even write rhymes and in cursive. But now, like, it's been so long, I probably only know the letters in my name.
Yeah, for real.
And like certain things we learn in school, it's like they don't like come with the times. Like
Yeah,
like
true.
it's like I think the curriculums need to be more on top of like what are the changes making, like not what's going on at the current moment, but prepare these people for the future. Like, because I think like when I was in high school, there was still a lot of people, probably older people, still using cursive writing, so that's why we were doing it.
Totally.
But like I think they should try and look ahead
Yeah.
and see how much time do they spend
Chip
on,
all those kindergarten brains with like
Yeah.
new built-in computer wiring to be ready to go. It's
what
coming.
do you think about I've seen some of that, like that they're gonna put chips in babies and stuff like that.
Man, I mean, the interface of technology and human biology is already at hand, and I think that like it'll be what 10 years.
Yeah.
Within 10 years, we'll have like a lot of people getting things in their heads so that they can interact with technology with ease.
Imagine
in
if
their
it,
brain.
imagine if it was like the Matrix. You know how like on like I wanted to teach Neo all the martial arts and stuff like that. It was like, oh, just put this chip in them, put like put this chip in them, put this chip in them, and I know all these martial arts. Like,
Right?
it's like, man, I'm like, I wish I could just get a chip to like learn how to like, you know.
Yeah. Or people will pay for better versions of organs. They'll be like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and get eyes that can see in 8 different ways or whatever.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, I'm gonna, go get new muscles put in my legs. I think, like, it's coming, man. It's honestly, it's not that
No,
far off.
I definitely see
It's
it.
a weird world out there.
Um,
It's more and more evident that we might be living in a simulation.
Right. What do you think about the movie The Matrix? Like,
I love it. I think it was great.
yeah,
I don't really like the way the trilogy ended.
yeah,
And I didn't like everything about it. One thing that I thought for sure was like, he wakes up and he's in this other place, but then he starts doing magic shit there too,
Yeah.
right? So I thought that what was going to happen was they'd realize at the end of all of it that that's another Matrix. Oh my God!
yeah,
Right? Like
Yeah.
like he's doing he's stopping shit with his mind and stuff. So, right? Like
yeah,
so I figured that was what was going to happen, but nah,
yeah.
it's all complicated.
No, for sure.
But I do like them, yeah, for sure. They're great movies. I like the action sequences, and I mean the first one especially is genius.
We were talking about earlier about shows. I want to bring up some back with shows. What do you think about like people when they're performing over their track, like I mean, we call it like overlay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amateur.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think.
But I see
think,
like big time acts like
yeah,
doing it.
me too.
And
me too.
Well, one of my favorite like videos online for seeing live performances when Jermaine Dupri was doing the 25th anniversary for So Def,
Mm-hmm.
and he was doing his tracks overlay, and then he brought Jay-Z out, and then like they wanted Jay-Z to perform one of his songs, and then he starts, and then like within seconds of the song starting, like Jay realizes like the track's playing, and he's like, hey, cut that. He's like, I want my beats, like I want just the instrumentals,
Right.
and then like. It was like awesome. I was like he was just ready to perform, and then all of a sudden he just kind of like looked back. He was like, "Yo, do you got the track playing?" Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, I was like, because like we've been to so many shows, like and seen people do that, and it's
Yeah,
like,
it's common now. Like I
Yeah.
mean, nobody did that back when we were coming up. But yeah, I think it's just it's sloppy. It's amateur, and like
Yeah.
if you can't rock a small show, with like 100 or less people without doing that, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
if you can't remember it, or you keep up the energy, or you can't keep up your voice or your air, then don't do it. Then like become a hype guy or something.
like I could see like some vocals on hooks.
Yeah, I have backing
Yeah.
tracks on some parts of hooks and stuff
Yeah.
for sure, or like some yelling in the background or some stuff like that. Yeah, that's not the same thing. I don't
Yeah,
think
no. That's
You know?
that's definitely not the same thing.
But yeah, you know, that's okay. But yeah,
It's like if I actually
full
wanted
on
to-
just playing your record and rapping over top of it, that's pretty suspect. I've
for sure.
never seen anybody do
Yeah.
that where I'm like, that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, like I want to go back to Europe. So like when you're doing these tours, like or even here too, like how is like the arrangement, like everything else, like beside the show, like what are you doing for food, like like what kind of like hotels or whatever, or where are you sleeping, like
Right.
like how's all that work, like?
Well, Europe was great about it. Like every promoter or booker that we worked with had arranged a place for us to stay,
Yeah.
and food.
Awesome.
And generally speaking, transportation from like the train station or the bus station where we came from.
Yeah.
So in that regard, it was really great. In Canada, you're kind of on your own in a normal tour. Like you would be asking other artists. Like promoters don't frequently offer to put you up at their house. You know, like in Europe they did.
Okay.
Sometimes in Canada
Yeah.
you'll see that, but it's not common. It's more likely that one of the other acts that you're playing with would offer to let you crash there.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like a combination of things. Like I was saying though, I played to a lot of activists and organizers and doing benefits and stuff. Like I'm not making money, so people will often make everything else about it great. You know, like within Canada, even when I play most places, I have a great place to stay, great food, like everything, like beers and whatever, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. Like I'm often playing for hospitality and a tank of gas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people treat you good. You know,
Yeah.
if you're looking to do a show and make a couple $100 at the bar or whatever, you've set that up with some other rap artist. Like they're full out paying you. They might not be as maybe they can go buy yourself a burger or whatever and get a cheap motel or a nice hotel, depending on how much of your $200 you just made you want to spend, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of been my experience over time. It's like
Okay.
lose more money trying to make money than than just like playing for people for gas money and good times, you know.
Yeah. I could see like food being a weird thing, especially in different countries and stuff like that. Because
Yeah, totally.
Like,
Yeah.
like you don't want to like sometimes in different countries, in different cultures, and if you're not used to it, you eat that, and then you got to do a show that day. And then
Totally.
You get the bubble gut.
No doubt.
Because the food you ate, right? Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I typically don't eat within like 3-4 hours of playing. You know, like
That's the thing, yeah.
Oh yeah. I don't like to be anywhere near full when I play. I like to be. I actually like to be hungry when I get up on stage. Like that's the best state that my body could be in. Would be, geez, I could really eat right now.
Yeah, that's good for. I definitely see that good for performing wise.
Totally, it keeps you sharp.
Yeah.
You're looking for that food, like the animal instinct kicks in.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So where can people find your music and like what's your
It's Lee Reed, pretty easy to find. LeeReed. Most of my handles are free Lee Reed. On Twitter, Insta, Facebook, all that stuff. Website LeeReedRevolt.com. I work with a collective called RhymeThink, rhymethink.com. But yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. Spotify, whatever.
Spotify,
Apple Music, all that stuff.
Yeah. Tidal.
I don't know, to be honest, about that one.
I find when I looked at like what all the streaming services pay artists, Tidal pays the most to artists.
Oh yeah?
Per stream.
Like 0.007 instead of 0.006.
Yeah, something like that. But like it's still
there's hundreds of pennies at stake here in the last 5 years of music.
But
fuck Spotify. I hate all that shit.
For like they put up the numbers for like a million streams, and it was consistent. Like it was like quite a bit more for titles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like any of that stuff, but
Yeah.
I put it up there.
Well,
'cause it's like,
it's how a lot of people
ask for it.
how a lot of people
Right.
consume music now, right?
Totally.
Like record stores are going out of business because people want to go to the store. Like everything's in your phone.
It's true, man.
Yeah.
It's true. Sad times.
Yeah. But vinyl's coming. Vinyl's been back, but like it's like the only really physical thing that people still want to buy for.
Yeah, tapes are coming back in some circles too.
Yeah.
There's people selling tapes. Yeah, and people still ask for CDs, man. You know, everywhere I go, people are disappointed that like the last record I have, it's on vinyl. They're like, "You have this in CD," and I'm like, "No." They're like, right? So I don't know. I think a lot of people, there's still like a lot of people who have CD players in their
Yeah.
car. That's the thing I come across the most. People will be like, "It's for my car." Like, okay, that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, like I seen a picture online. Like it was in Brantford. Somebody had posted about somebody had a Discman, like this week, like sitting beside them on the bus with a Discman. I'm like, man, I'm like, I don't think I've physically even seen one in 10 years.
Let alone listen to it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but I figured out like you know how like it's almost like the gangster walk with like almost you keep the one leg straight.
Right.
I always thought that started from the Discmans, because you wanted to make sure you
didn't skip.
so you keep the one leg straight and you
That's
kind of
right.
like walk with like kind of like a. I always thought that
That's
kind of
funny.
walk started from the Discmans.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, so yeah, this has been a good episode.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Definitely. Anytime you got something new, or you're always welcome back on the show.
Hey, thanks, man.
And yeah, thanks. Eddie TV.
Energy TV.
We out. Boom. Awesome.
Nice, man.